Why do you train? Not the surface answer, not aesthetics, not health, not because you should. The real answer. The one that gets you out of bed at 5 in the morning when everything in you wants to stay. The one that keeps you finishing the last rep when quitting would be easier. The one that makes your training feel like something more than just exercise. Marcus Aurelius had that answer, and it carried him through 19 years of war, plague, and devastating loss. Today, we find yours. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary?" He was not waiting for purpose to arrive. He was actively constructing it, testing every action against the standard of whether it served something genuinely important. Most athletes wait to feel purposeful. They train hoping that meaning will eventually emerge from the repetition, that one day the why will become obvious and everything will click into place. Seneca would call this wasting time. Marcus Aurelius would call it confusion about how purpose works. Purpose is not discovered. It is decided. You choose what your training serves. You decide what the discipline means. You construct the why deliberately, and then you test every training decision against it. Marcus Aurelius decided his purpose was the flourishing of Rome and the practice of Stoic philosophy. Every decision he made was tested against those two things, including how he trained his body and mind. For the Stoic athlete, the purpose decision is the most important training decision you will ever make. More important than your program, more important than your nutrition, more important than any physical variable, because purpose is the only training variable that works hardest on your worst days. When motivation is gone, when energy is low, when every reason to quit has arrived simultaneously, purpose is the only thing that remains. Decide yours. Today, before your next session. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What injures the hive injures the bee." He trained his body and mind, not for personal vanity, but for the people who depended on his strength. His soldiers, his citizens, his family, the Rome that would exist after him. His training was in service of something larger than himself, and that service gave every hard session a weight of meaning that personal goals alone could never provide. The athlete who trains for personal aesthetics will quit when aesthetics feel unattainable. The athlete who trains to be stronger for their family will not quit, because quitting has a cost that goes beyond their own disappointment. The athlete who trains to build the discipline that will define every other area of their life will not quit, because the session is not about the session. It is about the character being built in the session. For the Stoic athlete, connecting your training to something larger than personal gain is the single most powerful purpose decision available. Who needs your strength? Your children, who need a physically capable parent. Your team, who needs a disciplined contributor. Your future self, who needs the habits being built right now. Name them. See their faces. Feel the weight of what your training is actually serving, then train for them. Not for how you will look, for what your strength will make possible, for the people and the purposes that genuinely matter. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe." Living in harmony with himself meant living in alignment with his purpose every day, including and especially the hardest days. Because Marcus Aurelius understood something about purpose that most athletes discover only in their darkest training moments. Motivation visits, purpose stays. Motivation is highest when training is going well, when progress is visible, when energy is high and everything feels possible. Motivation is exactly the tool you need least, because you would train anyway. But when training is hard, when progress has stalled, when the alarm feels impossible, and the weights feel too heavy, and the voice saying, "Quit," has brought overwhelming evidence, motivation is nowhere. Purpose is still there. Because purpose is not a feeling that rises and falls with your training performance. It is a decision that was made before the training began and will remain after it ends. For the Stoic athlete, the purpose statement is a physical document, not a mental concept. Write it down. One sentence. What does your training serve that is larger than the training itself? Read it before every session, not as inspiration, as orientation, reminding yourself what direction you are moving and why the movement matters regardless of how today's session feels. Marcus Aurelius read his philosophy every morning to orient himself to his purpose. Your purpose statement is your meditations. Write it, read it, train from it. Marcus Aurelius built a specific practice into his evening review that every Stoic athlete needs to adopt. He wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, ask, what do I still lack in order to be free from passion? What do I still lack in order to live well?" He was reviewing alignment, asking whether today's actions had served his purpose or diverged from it. For the Stoic athlete, the purpose review is 30 seconds at the end of every training session. One question only. Did today's training serve the purpose I decided it serves? If yes, that is the satisfaction that outlasts any training high. The knowledge that your effort was genuinely meaningful, that the discipline built today was in service of something real. If no, that is the most honest and most useful feedback available. Not guilt, information. What specific thing diverged from your purpose? What will you do differently in the next session to realign? Marcus Aurelius reviewed his alignment every evening for 19 years. His purpose never drifted because he checked it every day. Check yours every session. Keep it sharp. Keep it real. Keep it larger than yourself. Marcus Aurelius trained for 19 years with complete purpose. Not for how he looked, not for personal glory, for Rome, for philosophy, for the people who needed his strength and clarity and discipline. And that purpose carried him through everything the world threw at him. Here are his 4 principles of purpose for the Stoic athlete. 1. Purpose is decided, not discovered. Choose what your training serves. Today, before your next session. 2. Connect to something larger. Who needs your strength? Name them. Train for them. 3. Purpose stays when motivation leaves. Write your purpose statement. Read it before every session. Train from it, especially on your worst days. 4. Review alignment daily. One question after every session. Did today's training serve my purpose? Adjust accordingly. Marcus Aurelius knew exactly why he trained. Do you? Find your why. Then train like it matters. Because it does. This is Stoic Athlete. Train your body, master your mind. Find your why. Discovered for a new video every week. Marcus Aurelius is waiting.